Alright guys, this is Big Bear 2000. This is what I look like, by the way, if you've seen my other videos and were curious. Today, actually, I'm going to be going over a deck profile. It's the first time I've ever done anything like this, and it's actually going to be for the triangle event going on right now. And this is going to be my fusion strategy that I've been rocking this time around. So as you can sort of see, we're going to be doing Tearlaments Zombie. There is some synergy there, mainly with the super polymerization, since both decks tend to run this. But let's go ahead and get into the card by card. So starting off with the zombie engine, we have Glow Up Bloom here. This is essentially to get out your boss monster. That's going to be Doom King Balderok. And we do have a small Eldritch package in here, so you can also pick up a Eldritch and special summon that to your field. Next is the main normal summon for the zombie engine, and that's going to be Uni Zombie here. And the main reason for this isn't really because it's a tune or anything, it's just a good normal summon to get stuff out of your hand that might be clogging it up, because we do have a few bricks in here. But you can also send Necro World Banshee here, so you can activate Zombie World on the field, and we have cards that synergize with that as well. Next is going to be our Monster Reborn from the graveyard in the form of Mizuki here. Then we have his brother over here, Gozuki. This is another normal summon option for the zombie strategy, where you would basically normal summon this and then you just send one to from the deck to the graveyard. And then here's my Royal Rare Banshee, but this is basically on the field or in the graveyard. You banish this to be able to activate Zombie World from the deck. And then my favorite boss monster of all time, and the reason why this deck has been my pet deck for the last 2 years, is going to be Doom King Balderok. So the reason why I love this card so much is because he keeps bringing himself back from the graveyard every turn during the standby phase. And when a zombie effect is activated, like say Ash here, which we're running 3 of, he can banish a card from the graveyard or the field, or he can negate that effect. And with Zombie World on the field, obviously your opponent's monsters effects will be zombies. And then we have the Eldritch engine here. So obviously we're going to have one Eldritch over here. This card is also very annoying for your opponent to deal with, because he can also bring him back from the graveyard and make himself very hard to out by not being destructible by card effects and being a 3,500 beat stick in attack. And then obviously we're running 2 Zombie World because we are running Tearlaments. We're going to be milling a lot, so you don't want to mill the Zombie World because there's no way to get it back, so we are running 2. And then for the Eldritch engine, we're running 3 Sanguine just so we can get that Eldritch cycle going. This is the 1-card starter for the Eldritch engine essentially. Next up we have Conquistador, the second best trap for the Eldritch engine, and it also allows you to search out your Sanguine, so pretty good card. And then with that Tearlaments engine, we're going to go ahead and get started, and we run 1 Havness, and this is basically for the turn 0 plays, right? Both Havness and Sheeran here are going to be your fusers. So in the graveyard, you can fuse their cards to be able to get out your boss monsters in the extra deck. They also have great milling abilities, specifically Sheeran. You can special summon this from your hand as a free body and then just straight up mill 3 cards. Pretty solid. Next we have our normal summon for the Tearlaments strategy, and that's going to be Rhino Heart here. Basically the Gozuki for the Tearlaments, right? He can also bring himself back, so he's a 1-card starter for the Tearlaments engine. We also actually are going to use Armageddon Knight as to fill the void for not having 3 Rhino Heart in this event for some reason. And then for the rest of the monsters, sort of dealing with Tearlaments here, we have Tearlaments Kashtira, a great miller. You special summon this from onto the field, and then you get to mill cards. And when it goes to the graveyard, you get to mill even more cards. And then to search it, we have a Fenrir, just being a generally good card in general. This is one you probably want to keep on the field. And then the last monster in the deck, because we're running a super graveyard milling deck, we're going to run 1 Fairy Tale Snow, because this is also a very annoying card for your opponent to deal with. Basically a free book. And then we are also running the Tearlaments field spell. This you just activate it and you can add a Tearlaments monster to your hand, so that's why we're sort of running it. And it kind of boosts up the attack of some of those fusion boss monsters as well. And the last Tearlaments card in the main deck is going to be the Soliac. So this is a negate, and when it's into the graveyard, by card effect, you are able to get a Tearlaments monster from your deck to your hand, so that's why it's a 1 of. Or you're only allowed to have 1, my bad. And then going over the generic staples in the main deck here, we're running 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. This deck can't really deal with back row, so just having the 1 of is pretty solid. We're running 1 Card Destruction, because we do run some bricks sometimes. And it just means more cards in the graveyard, so why not? One of the best cards for just getting a card in the graveyard, Foolish Burial. We're running 2 talents because there seems to be a good amount of hand traps running around in here, so that's why we are also running 2 called by. But if we don't have the called by and we have the talents, this can actually be even better for us. And I actually have a replay where this did come up and it was really funny. And then because we have Zombie World and we have Super Poly targets, we are running Super Poly. Discard 1 card. We typically don't mind doing that in this deck. And then you can use your opponent's monsters or your opponent's and yours monsters or just your monsters to fuse into the extra deck. And we have plenty of targets that we'll go over. 2 called by because, like I said, plenty of hand traps going around right now. And then 1 Ice Dragon's Prism, sort of similar to the Super Poly where if we have Zombie World on the field, this card can basically banish a card from your opponent's graveyard and banish one of the other monsters on their field. Super Poly and Ice Dragon's Prison are even good without the Zombie World, so I don't mind having essentially 4 of these in the deck. And then onto the extra deck here, we are running Mud Dragon of the Swamp just as a Super Poly target. This is going to be your main fuse off the Tearlaments. This will not work off Zombie World, so you do have to be careful about that. But you just basically need 1 Tearlaments monster and 1 Aqua monster. Most of the cards here, other than Rhino Heart for the Tearlaments cards, are going to be Aqua, and Tearlaments Kashtira as well. And this is essentially the best Miller extra deck card probably ever, next to like Beatrice. It is also a searcher from the deck, just a Tearlaments card in general added to your hand. And then when this is sent to the graveyard, that's where you get to get the milling effect of 5 cards, which is kind of crazy. We have a sandwich for the Super Poly target. If you're not running this, you're probably going to lose. Same goes with Moki Moki King and Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Those are essentially going to be our main Super Poly targets, right? But on a more serious note, we do have a Garura. You're going to probably be using this one the most off their Super Poly if I had to guess. And then second up is going to be the Dragon Necro Nether Soul. Just 2 zombie monsters, really easy to make, and it's a pretty annoying card for your opponent to deal with as well. We're running 1 Chimera Tech just because maybe if I see Cyber Dragon, like XYZ or something, most of the time I'm going to be fusing, but if I do see Cyber Dragon, I guess there's a free out right there. Another Super Poly target being Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, pretty good card. And then to round out the Tearlaments fusion monsters, we do have a Rokolos here. So this one does not Aqua Lock you, so you can have all your Tearlaments monsters be zombies, and you can still get this out, and this is probably going to be the one you're going to be seeing the most. This can negate a special summon, and it can bring itself back like a lot of our boss monsters. Our boss monsters just stick around in this deck, and that's one of the cool things about this deck. I put the Invoked Megaput because I have a Royal of it, and I was like, oh, what's a way I could flex? And then here's that. And then we also have Tearlaments Kaleido Heart here. You're probably not going to be summoning this one as much, especially with Zombie World being around, but nonetheless, it is a free shuffle your opponent's card into the deck, so that is pretty good. And you can send a Tearlaments card from your deck to the graveyard, so pretty solid card. And then a funny Super Poly target is going to be the Eldritch the Mad Golden Lord. But this is basically if you're going against a Synchro deck, they have one of their boss Synchros on the field, you activate Super Poly, and then you out it, and you get this guy on your field. So that's going to go ahead and be the deck list here. Let's go ahead and go into some replays. Alright, and then on to the first replay here. Also, I did change up the deck a little bit. The deck I have now is probably the better version. A lot less bricky, a lot more normal summons, which the deck was lacking. That's why you're going to go ahead and see the Trivia Karma here. This was essentially to get your... This was a way to get your field spell for the Tearlaments, so that's why you saw it here. And it is clogging up our hand. Our hand is very cloggy. But as you can notice, we see our Eldritch engine here, and we also have 1 normal summon in the form of Gozuki. But we do have the Glow Up Bloom and the Trivia Karma just taking up his space in our hand, doing nothing. So we're going to go ahead and normal summon this. Send the Eldritch since we have Eldritch cards. Send the Trivia Karma, which is not a play you'll be doing, but it's a way to get into the Tearlaments engine if you want to run it, which is an option. We're going to special summon out the Golden Lord himself. Activate the field spell. Get a Sheeran. We're going to special summon the Sheeran, mill some cards, pitch the Glow Up Bloom. And I think we're just going to add Doom King or something here. Well, the Doom King's in the graveyard already, so we'll just pick up another Eldritch. And then we're going to set our 2 Sanguines. He's going to imperm for some reason. I was confused about that. We're going to go ahead and activate. We're going to bait some stuff, which is always good what you want to do in this deck. If you have a board that doesn't really do any more things, you can just bait with Sanguine, because we already have the Doom King in the graveyard. So otherwise, this would have been negated. And then our opponent's going to be running a Zodiac, so very annoying for us to deal with. Unfortunately, we do not have the zombie world on the field, so Doom King is not going to be able to activate right off the bat. And he is probably going to get that board wipe on us. I think he activates to try to pop our Eldritch. He just really doesn't like this Eldritch for some reason. And then he's going to go ahead and go into the Barbell, and then he's going to attack us, go into Zeus, wipe the board, but luckily we don't really care about our stuff going to the graveyard, so we'll see how we can come back from this. Yep, and there goes our cards. We're going to activate Gozuki, just get an Eldritch on field, just baiting, try to get that last Zeus negate out. And then we're going to get our Kit, since he sent our Sheeran. And then we're going to just add another Sheeran, I believe. And then we baited the last negate of the Zeus. So there's our Sheeran for our upcoming turn. He's going to go ahead and Ash the Mills, which is unfortunate, but what can you do? And then he's going to Avarice to draw 2 more cards, so we still got a game on our hands here. And he is definitely at an advantage. And then, funny enough, we draw another Sheeran. So we're going to activate that Sheeran, send the other Sheeran, activate the other Sheeran, activate Scream. We're going to pick up the Soliak, and then we're going to fuse again here. And we're going to go into the Rokolos. This can negate a special summon. We're going to pitch the Conquistador. He has another Go spell, so he is running a fair bit of those. We Madura here, but honestly, should we have? Maybe not. He's not really using cards in his graveyard to really do anything with them, so it's fine. And then I'm a dumbass and I don't set the Soliak. But we're going to go ahead and get our Eldritch engine going here, and we're going to set another Sanguine, the Royal Rare one. And then we don't have another target for the other one. He's going to try to DD Crow our Eldritch. He really doesn't like this Eldritch, like I've been saying. And we're just going to special summon it from the graveyard, so he can't banish it. And still doesn't like the Eldritch. He's going to attack it. If I were him, I would have probably crashed the Rukolos. Off the top, we get a Fenrir, so that's not bad. We're going to go ahead and set a Conquistador onto the field. Set another, we're going to send the Soliak. And then we're going to special summon Eldritch. That we're able to beat over the Zeus, attract with Rukolos, and then the Sheeran. And then during their turn, we also have a pop with Conquistador. So he's going to activate another Avarice, and he's going to set another card. I'm going to activate the Sanguine. Set another Conquistador for the turn after. And then he's going to go for our monsters here. We can just bring the Rukolos back. Our cards are really annoying to deal with. And then we're going to go ahead and just pop. Oh, funny thing. If you activate Conquistador, make sure you read the card. It's face-up cards, which I did not realize until activating it, even though this is my pet deck and I do run Eldritch in my main pet deck. Yeah, sometimes you do stupid shit, so just remember that if you're going for it. And then he's going to imperm the Eldritch, so I guess we're just popping. Oh no, okay. So I should have attacked with Eldritch here, because if you look at it, we did not have game on board, so I realized I messed up. We activated the Conquistador, so we have the extra 500, so we have 3k, because I don't know why I decided to attack with Rucolos. I make misplays throughout these replays, so there's definitely ways you could pilot it better. Obviously a lot of mine are just goofy, so we eventually just attack over his millionth hand trap, and then we go for game with the Conquistador. And as I mentioned, you'll see cards that we're not running anymore. The Maduro making an appearance last time around. We're going for some turn 0 plays here. My bad, I keep stuttering that shit. We're going against Dino XYZ. You'll see this deck in the event a fair bit. And we're going to go ahead and get the kit going. We're going to add the Havness. He's going to activate the Miscellaneous. We're not targeting this card, so it doesn't matter. We're going to keep the turn 0 plays going here. He's going to pop the baby. And we're just playing his turn for him, you know. This is definitely possible with this deck, although not very common. So he has 2 6s, 2 4s. He's going to go into the Evil Czars. So he has essentially 3 negates on the field. So now it's time for us to start baiting. We're going to activate the Sanguine, bait that negate. Activate the kit, target the Havness, bait that negate. Try to activate the effect in the graveyard, bait another negate. Then we're going to activate the Sheeran, pitch the Doom King. We're going to activate the Kashtira, mill some more cards. We're going to activate Eldritch. We're going to special summon him to the field, and we're going to target the Madura. We're going to get some of our cards back into the deck that we would want. Honestly, that card doesn't really need to be there. And then we're going to pass on Eldritch with 2 small Tearlaments cards. He's going to activate the Pill to be able to get his big dino out. There's Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. He's going to flip everything face down. And we take 1,000 damage for each. And then we're going to attack by the Evil Czar. So we're going to activate Zombie World just to bait another negate, because we're not really doing anything with it, but we are able to get our Doom King on the field now, which is annoying for our opponent to deal with. We're going to get Eldritch. We're going to try to pop it with Conquistador. We do pop it. This is a weird thing I've never seen before. So he flipped it back down, so Conquistador just set again, so we can activate it during the next turn. We're also going to Ash this Transcendosaurus, because he was going to send a dinosaur to the graveyard. Alright, so we're going to special summon our Doom King. He's going to go straight to battle, destroy that, and then he's going to destroy our Eldritch. And then he's going to summon another Evil Tile. Alright, so we're bringing back Doom King. Gonna pitch, bring back the Eldritch, but we activate the Doom King's effect since we activated Eldritch. This is a zombie effect. Banish his big dino, and then we attack, deal some good damage. And then we set the Ice Dragon's Prism. So he's going for another rank 6 here. This one negates special summons, I believe. Yeah. So here we're going to go ahead and bring his Oviraptor, banish his new XYZ he had, and the Oviraptor. Our Eldritch is a little bit weaker now. We draw the Harpy, so that's cool. We're going to go ahead and just clear up that back row, and then we're going to attack with the Eldritch. He's going to activate a Miscellaneousaurus for some reason. You know, maybe he's just lost hope. I don't blame him. Now we're going to BM a little bit, or attempt to. But since it's a zombie effect, guess what? We can negate it because it's Ash. We're going to send a Sheeran. And then we're going to get a, I believe, YuGiOh. Yep. So there is no coming back now. Alright, so onto the third duel here, and this is essentially show you what your turn 1 board can look like. So we're going to activate the Sheeran. I'm going to go and speed this up a little bit. Send Havness. We're going to mill some cards. There's the Trivia Karma, so in these replays it does come up sometimes, so if you want to run it and get that field spell, you can. Just replace one of the bricks, I guess. We're going to activate, we're going to actually get Scream, another one that we don't have in the deck anymore because it was also bricky. Next we're going to normal summon Rhinoheart and then get our tier. And then get our tier plays going. There's the YuGiOh. Mill some more. We're going to pop the Scream. We're going to get a Solic. Activate Necroworld Banshee. Set that there. And now we have a Solic, Ice Dragon's Prison with a Zombie Road on field and a Sanguine. He's going to activate Crimson Gaia. You're going to be seeing this deck a lot also. This is the Archfiend deck, and he's just going to leave. But this is to show you sort of a good turn 1 for this deck. Alright. So we are going we're going second this time around. So we're going to go ahead and Ash. I believe this doesn't do anything. He gets the full combo going. I don't really know how to go against this deck too well, but for us in this instance, it didn't really matter. I know they like the Red Rising. That would definitely be the card to negate if you had a negate. And then there he is, Red Supernova Dragon. This basically is a board clear with monster effects. He's going to go ahead and Ash. We're going to get called by, so we're going to get our tier plays going. We're going to just mill cards because we don't really want him to banish everything. Since he activated Ash, we're going to go ahead and take it with Talents. Activate Zombie World. Activate Foolish Burial. Send Glow of Bloom. We're going to activate the Glow of Bloom. And then we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves Doom King just in case he had any more negates with like Ash. And then he just leaves. He didn't want us to kill him with his own monster. I feel him. But that was one of my favorite replays. And then onto the last one here. Alright, so did draw a brick in the form of Baldurok. And then this is, I was testing out Kashtira Theosis. You're locked into XYZs, don't run this. I just don't know how Kashtira works, and I'm trying to run new shit. Did nothing for me. Alright, so we got the Zombie Road. We're going to start milling, send Doom King, activate Mizuki, get our Doom King back turn 1, activate Monster Reborn, get our Armageddon Knight. We got a Sheeran, so now we're going to fuse again, go into the YuGiOh, and we're going to pass there. I did not need to Monster Reborn the Doom King, and I also was running Monster Reborn, which can brick in this deck as well, even though it is a mill deck. So be forewarned about that. So I went ahead and banished his other monster, because I figured a level 3 tuner would be more annoying for him to deal with. He's going to call by the Sheeran, so he can't fuse. And then he's going to pass on just a Soul Resonator. Alright, so we're going to put everything into attack and just try to swing. And then I believe we're just going to set the Elvish card here. He's going to activate Soul Resonator. We're just going to banish it. That was his normal summon. He controls no monsters, but we have the YuGiOh. We're going to activate the YuGiOh, just bring itself right back. And then we're going to gate from the graveyard. He leaves. Essentially, YuGiOh plus Doom King is a really annoying board for your opponent to deal with because they're not really going to be able to out them. And couple that with an Eldritch, for example, it is super annoying for your opponent to deal with. Alright, so that is going to go ahead and be the video. I'll go card for card just one more time, just in case you want to build the deck, and I'll go ahead and talk about it a little bit more. So this deck is pretty fun, I would say. It's a new take on the Tearlaments card since it got hit pretty bad with the Rhino Heart. I believe there's other versions you can run, but this one's just my favorite since I love zombies. So yeah, test it out. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you would change also as well. I don't think it's perfect, but I think this is the best that I personally could have made it with my deck building abilities. And then, like I said, also let me know how you're feeling about the event. And let me know what decks you're also trying, because I'm interested to know. Can't forget the super poly targets, right? With the sandwich and the Moki King. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe. It's always appreciated. And then I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much. Peace.